Viewer discretion is advised.
A deserted Australian island. The ultimate adventure playground. When two strangers meet on a remote stretch of beach, they decide to climb a mountain together to see the legendary view. But when disaster strikes, paradise becomes a cruel and savage place. As one man faces a slow, agonizing death, his only hope is that a guy he hardly knows survives a deadly race for help. Anybody! What it takes to beat the odds on I Shouldn't Be Alive. Hinchinbrook, a mountainous, uninhabited island off the Queensland coast of Australia. Covered in a dense tropical rainforest and fringed with spectacular beaches, it's a magnet for hardcore hikers like Australian environmentalist Warren McDonald.
The best way for me to get rejuvenated or grounded, if you like, is to put a backpack on and go into the bush. I've been hearing a lot over the years about Hinchinbrook Island and figured, I should go and check it out. So it had always been on my map, if you like.
Warren plans a solo trek of the island's only marked trail, the Coastal Circuit. Hinchinbrook receives few visitors. There's no electricity, no hotels. And the only way on and off it is by a ferry that only runs once a day. You could say, once you're there, you're nowhere.
I don't go hiking usually to be with the crowd, so I took off on my own. This, a hike along the coast on a formed trail, walk in the park.
After hiking a full day, Warren decides to make camp on a remote beach. Surprisingly, he finds someone already there.
First thing I noticed is there's a guy sitting down on the beach wearing a bandana, basically, sketching the scene out on the ocean. And I remember thinking, well, that guy looks pretty chilled out,
Hey, how you going?
Warren introduces himself to Geert van Hoelen. Turns out he's from the Netherlands.
Hiking to me is one of the things I really basically live for, and also being able to sketch and paint and draw, which is very important to me. The opportunity that I got for that on Hinchinbrook was just awesome, fantastic.
The two immediately get on and talk well into the evening.
Straight away there was a connection.
Eventually, the conversation turns to the island's highest peak, Mount Bowen.
What do you got there? It's the trail notes. Some trail notes for Mount Bowen. I was thinking to climb it,
Take a look.
Yeah, take a look. You know that there's that book, 1,000 Things to Do Before You Die.
Oh, yeah?
Apparently the view from the top of Mount Bowen is in there twice.
How long do you reckon it would take to climb?
I think a day and a half, maybe another to come down.
Thoughts of continuing his coastal walk vanish from Warren's mind. It's a moment that will change his entire life.
So we made a plan to get an early start in the morning. We figured it'd probably take 8 hours to get to a high camp, and from there the next day we'd be able to make the summit and probably come all the way back down to the beach in that day.
There is no clear path to the summit of Mount Bowen. Geert's trail notes suggest climbing the 3,700 feet to the top by following a creek bed to avoid hiking through the dense rainforest.
We were going to be off track, but we still had something to follow, so navigation supposedly wasn't going to be an issue.
Warren has the mountain in his sights. He's feeling great and moving well.
I've got a pack on for the first time in 6 months and I'm bouncing like a gazelle from rock to rock.
Unlike Warren, Geert just can't find his pace.
And I had a real battle of getting on with it. I remember thinking, what if I started here, you know? I mean, this is not a joke, this is serious walking.
Geert! You alright?
Yeah, no, fine. Take the camera.
It came obvious to me that he was just fitter than I was, and I didn't like that much, that idea. But at the same time, I was having a great time. And I like that sort of element in hiking very much. Why should it be easy? I might as well stay home.
Boulder hopping takes concentration. So much so, you can forget about other stuff, like where you are.
We'd probably been going for 5 hours or so when I started thinking, wow, you know, we don't look like we're anywhere near where we need to be.
Both of us realized that there's all these side creeks that we've missed. We've missed turn-offs, maybe we were on the wrong path. Doubt started creeping in.
What do you reckon? I reckon we're in the wrong creek bed. I reckon you're right.
The guys are now about 16 hours from the ferry. They've trekked nearly 5 miles through difficult terrain and are 2/3 the way up the 3,700-foot peak.
I didn't feel like we were lost. I don't even know if I'd use the term geographically embarrassed. To me, it wasn't a huge deal.
We're going to lose the light, you know, soon. It's going to get dark.
We'll pull up stumps here and spend the night on this slab and we'll keep going from there.
Come on, Geert.
I think it was 7:30, and as it goes in the tropics, the dark sets in really quickly, and before you know it, you need a torch just to find your bearings.
Geert may be a little apprehensive, but Warren remains high on the adventure.
I had a pretty big sense of, wow, I'm back where I really love to be, you know, and that sense of remoteness. So I was feeling pretty good.
But the call of the wild is soon replaced by the call of nature.
So I need to take a leak, and the last thing that I want to do is do it in the creek. And you remember, we're out there hiking. This is our drinking water. So the rule is you want to get at least 50 metres away from the creek. So I decided that I'd climb up this embankment, and I made my way across the creek, feeling my way with my feet. I'm sort of tiptoeing across. The stones are covered in moss and it's quite slippery, so I'm being pretty careful making my way across.
Warren comes to the far bank of the creek, a low wall of granite.
I start feeling around on this rock wall. I know that there's a crack there and I'll be able to climb up it. And got my foot up onto the rock.
This piece of granite has a very long history. About 270 million years ago, it was molten lava, buried deep inside the earth. As thousands of millennia passed, the lava cooled and solidified, and cracks formed within it. Then, as the mountains and volcanoes above eroded away, the cracks widened and deepened, leaving this boulder teetering on a knife edge.
And at that point I heard a huge crack.
For two guys trekking through a rainforest, a walk in the park has turned into a trip into hell.
What?
I didn't have a clue what had happened. Not a clue.
Where are you, all right?